Hey everybody, it's King here, and I'm back with another Elder Scrolls Online video. And today I'm going to be showing you 5 different locations that you can use to grind from level 1 to 50 in the fastest ways possible. So I'm going to start this off by saying that I know some of these spots can be quite grindy, and that is not everybody's favorite way to level up in an MMO, and I completely understand that. So a few of these farms I have actually sprinkled in some areas that are not nearly as grindy, so you're actually able to go ahead and get the XP, but also get a little bit of a break in between, so you're not constantly doing the same thing. I do want to mention that in doing this you will end up with a lot of gear. So with the gear that you get, you're going to want to deconstruct a lot of that and research, the gear that you're going to be using as your primary weapon. So be it if you're using a staff, research staff traits. If you're using a sword, research sword traits, etc., etc. This is going to go ahead and end up making you a lot of gold in the future, and if you end up saving all the crafting materials, you'll be able to actually have a pretty good stockpile later in the game. So I do want to go ahead and get this video started. So first things first, what I recommend you guys do is go ahead and you're going to want to go ahead and pick up some experience scrolls. Now, if you're not quite sure how to get experience scrolls, the quite easiest way to do them is actually just to play the game. So if you go ahead and take a look here, there is actually daily rewards that you get for logging in every single day. So as you can see, in the next day I'm actually getting another Grand Gold Coast experience scroll, which increases my experience bonus up to 150 for an hour, which is actually a pretty big bonus in terms of grinding for XP, because that cuts our time down by about 150% for an hour. So as you can see, that's very useful. Now you actually do end up getting a lot of these too, even if you just log in every day. So even if you're not going to play the Elder Scrolls Online, I recommend you just log in so that when you eventually do go ahead and sit down to play, you have a ton of these experience scrolls stacked up. Now, in addition to the experience scrolls, you can also go ahead and check and see if any events are going on currently. I believe the Jester's event is going on right now, where you can actually get an experience buff of about 150, and they have events going on every month, so make sure you check, because these 150% experience buffs really do help. Now, what I do want to also mention as well is you're going to want to have gear that is training on. As you can see, I don't have many pieces right now because I've been kind of doing some PvP as well, as this is a newer character. But the training gear allows you to increase the experience you gain from killing mobs. So as you can understand, if we are going to grind for XP, this is going to be a very useful thing to have. Now, a lot of the weapons that you're gonna get actually come with training on them in the beginning. You get a weapon choice every 5 levels, and generally they will have training on them, so you just want to really stack up all these that you can. And if you actually get a full set of training gear, you can actually get your bonus up to about 128% on top of the XP scrolls that you have. So you can literally max out your XP bonus at like 400%. So this game does get pretty crazy at times. So without all that BS out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay, so we are here in our first grind location, and I do want to go ahead and list a few things that I forgot to mention in the beginning. If you do have a friend with you, you will get a 10% bonus experience buff, and that does help a lot. And also, if you've pre-purchased the Imperial Edition, you'll also get another 10%, so that's another important thing to notice. So if you look here, we are located here in the Starved Plain, and I'm going to go ahead and show you. We are in Stone Falls. Oh gosh, and this stupid mob. Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of mobs here. I'm going to go ahead and nuke this one down real quick so you guys can actually see what's really going on. But, so we'll go ahead and take a look here. We're down here in Stone Falls, and if I can go ahead and show you on the full map of Tamriel, it is right here in the spawning zone. So as you see, this is a starter area for Stone Falls, and you can literally walk right outside to the Starved Plain. Now, the cool thing about the Starved Plain is the fact that there are literally so many enemies here. The cool thing about this location is that what I can do, if you see what I'm doing here, is I can go around, tag a crap ton of enemies, as you can see what I'm doing here. They're starting to hit me, and then I can bring in an AoE ability, like such, and I can just start kind of going to town on these. Now, I highly recommend you guys have an AoE ability, because that's going to make these things just go way faster, and it doesn't really make sense to... Oh, do this if you don't have an AoE ability, as you can see. It's quite difficult, so I highly recommend you have some sort of AoE ability that can kind of, you know, counterbalance this and actually pull all these mobs. So the reason this location is actually so good for leveling like this is the fact that there's so many mobs located here. If we look here, there's so many mobs in just such a tiny area. And since it's a starter zone, we have a lot of other players running through here doing damage to mobs as well, as you can see. So a cool thing to notice about this is if there are any other players running around here doing this, just so you know, because I am posting this video, there should be a few of them. They will generally tag players with you, and if you see them hitting another enemy near you, just go hit the enemy that they're hitting as well, because if you tag an enemy, you get an experience for it in the Elder Scrolls Online. So even if you just hit them once, somebody else kills them, you will get experience for it. So again, if you see anybody hitting a mob, just go ahead and tag them, because you're going to want to go ahead and get that bonus experience for that. So that's going to be it for our first location. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, our second location is going to be located in Stone Falls as well. And just in case you got confused from the last part, it is still right here in Tamriel at the same location. Let's not do that because that would be really bad for the video. But we are located right here at Vivix Antlers. So as you can see, there are a lot of these mobs called drows nearby. Now, these do give you a lot of XP when you kill them. They will drop, I believe it's about 150 per kill, and then, of course, if you have your experience buff on, it's much higher. Now, if you're a character with a lot of AoE abilities, you're going to have a way easier time in this location, and you're going to be able to knock down a lot of these mobs at once. Now, this location is not as good in density for mobs, but as you can see, you do get a lot of experience when you do take them down. And all of the slime and carapaces that you actually get here, when you build up a good bank of these of trash and then sell them all off, it's actually worth a quite bit amount of gold. Now, one method and rule I do have for you guys here is I would not go after these guys, because they tend to run away and like de-aggro you and do this really weird thing where you can't really nuke them down, and it's kind of annoying, so I don't recommend hitting those ones. But as you can see, they're spread out pretty evenly along these coastlines, and this is a very big questing area, as there is an achievement tied to this area as well. So you'll have a lot of other characters running through here, possibly hitting mobs and maybe doing some extra little bit of the work for you. And if you see them hitting mobs for their quest, go ahead and hit them too. You're going to want to go ahead and make sure that you get all the XP that you can for that, and it's basically free, because you literally just have to click on them once and then let them run away from you. Not very difficult. So this is it for the second location. It's very useful, and not really many people use this location anymore, so I highly recommend coming to check this out. A lot of the deconstructing stuff that you get here, you'll get a lot of incarnate pieces, because their drop tables really don't have a lot of like blues and greens, but I have been getting a lot of incarnate pieces from these guys for some reason, so just a heads up there. So let's go ahead and move into our third spot. So here we are at our next location. So we are located right now in Deshawn, and in order to give you a better idea of where that's at in Tamriel, it's actually right here. And we are at this house called Muth Gnar. Now, I'm not sure if I said that right, probably not. I'm sure some lore guy is going to get really upset at me about that. But there are a lot of mobs here, and it's very easy to level up, so let me go ahead and teach you how to do it right. So, as we can see here, there's a lot of these mobs called Plague Stalkers around, and they spawn in groups of 2. Now, these mobs are easily taken down with AoE abilities, so if you're some class that has a bunch of AoE abilities, I highly recommend that. And the cool thing about them is they move stupid slow. Like, these mobs are so slow for some reason. I am not sure why. They've got this weird funny run that makes them run like just so slow. So that makes them very easy to group up a bunch of them and just nuke them all. So as you can see, I could just keep doing this all day really. And I can just level up stuff just over and over and over again. And you're going to get a lot of loot and a lot of gold, because these mobs are kind of humanoid people, so they drop actual gold. So you're going to get a lot of stuff out of this farm. As you can see here, there's literally like tons of them spread out. Like I could run through here and probably pull about 15 of them. So if you have a friend with you and you can pull groups of 6 each, then you are going to make out pretty well. Like you can end up with probably coming out of here a level every 15 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised. And as you can see, they take a lot of damage too. Like they're not very hard to nuke down compared to other mobs. And so that really leads to you just being able to get bigger groups. Bigger groups means bigger loot piles and a lot of fun stuff for you. So as you can see here, pretty easy to do, easy location to get to, not very difficult, and it's available in the base game, so even if you don't have the full game, it doesn't matter. So after we've shown you this spot, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next amazing spot for you guys to go ahead and take advantage of. Alright, so our fourth location here is going to be located in the lovely, lovely world of Bangkorai. Now, in Tamriel, we are located right here, and the location that we're going to be farming is actually located right next to a way shrine. It is called the Nilata Ruins, whatever, I don't know. I think they just made these names up randomly. But what we're going to be killing is these spiders right here. Now, you may be wondering, why are we killing spiders? There's no way those things are going to offer XP. Like, no way. Well, the joke's on you, because they actually offer the same amount of XP as any other thing in the game. And the cool thing about them is they don't have very many ranged abilities, so they generally just kind of follow you around in the same location. And also, there is just a crap ton of them located here. So if you actually take a look, we just have literally so many spiders here. So the more AoE abilities you have, the better. I like these mobs basically because they'll give you a lot of that like decorative wax and a bunch of this like weird ectoplasm stuff that you can actually all trash for it. You'll also get some alchemy supplies and stuff like that because you are killing, you know, insects. But the spot I like about this farm is it's very easy to just port here and just start just like knocking down a bunch of mobs because it's literally a way shrine right next to it. So it's like whenever you have some free time, you might as well just come here, kill a bunch of spiders with one of your buddies, or come do it yourself because hey, solo it works very well too. If you can see here, this is the experience that I'm getting without any kind of XP buffs on whatsoever. So if I had a 150 on, you know, you can kind of imagine how big these numbers would actually start getting. And as you can see there, it's kind of the loot tables that you're actually working with in this location here. Not really much else besides that. The spiders do have a lot of these weird abilities that kind of do slow you down, so that can kind of get quite annoying sometimes, but you know, the trade-off is there's so many of them, and you can actually pick up like groups of 10 of them in, you know, a pack and nuke them all down if you're pretty strong with your AoE abilities. And since the way shrines are right there, you know, it just makes it like one of those locations that you might as well just come to and pick up some of these kills to go ahead and get some easy XP. So that's it for this location. We're going to go ahead and move on to our last and final location, and this one is for you people that don't really like those super grindy spots, so I think you guys will really like this one. Alright, and here we are at our last and final farming location. Now, some of you may or may not already know where we are located at, so if you do or do not know, we are actually located at a dolmen. Now, the one we're located at is actually the one that is in, let's see here if I can get us, Alderon, sorry, or Ardon, whatever, I don't know, I can't ever pronounce it right. But, it's the one located here. Now, a lot of people do these incorrectly. So, the correct way to actually do these is to go ahead and nuke down all the ones here, get the loot, make sure you tag as many enemies as possible, and then go ahead, run to the nearest way shrine, and go to the next dolmen. So what I mean by that is, I'll go ahead and show you. So pretend we just got done killing that dolmen. As you can see, it's still active. There is another dolmen located up here, and you can actually go online to look at, or to look up the maps of the dolmens if you like. It's actually a lot easier, that way you can get 3 of them. Each major location on the map has 3 dolmens, and the times are actually set so that you can teleport in between each one and hit them consecutively. So what I can do now, after just going to that one, I can teleport to this way shrine at this dolmen, and then I can go ahead and hit that one. So I'm not going to do that now, just so I don't force you guys to sit there and watch a loading screen, but that is the best, fastest method to do these, and not a lot of people do that. There are some people that do know about that method. If you watch, they'll run right from the Dolmen to the next one right after it goes down. So you guys can actually go ahead and get in on that too. And since it's so close to a major city, you can actually do all your training for like your horse and all the speed and agility and stuff for that, as well as deconstruct a lot of the items. And you can also pop queues for dungeons and PvP while you're doing this as well. So these are some very good methods, and that is it for all the locations here. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is my first time kind of making this type of video, and I hope it went well. I hope you guys actually enjoyed it, and if I could get some feedback in the comment section down below, like, let me know if you enjoyed what I did with this video. Let me know if you want to see more. Let me know what you want to see done next. All that kind of helps. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you all in the next Elder Scrolls Online video. Bye.